All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Jason. I'm a channeler and I'm here for a daily dose of hope, day 121. A daily dose of hope is something that I was guided to do because the energies on our planet are starting to increase and things are starting to get wackier and wackier. And I'm sure you might notice out there in the media world how things are starting to get a little crazy and wacky. And so, what I'm doing here is just kind of helping everyone to remain centered, to hold the neutral point, right? Which is the most powerful point that we can be in, and to not be polarized by what they might see. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. And the Daily Dose of Hope has three parts: a bit of a talk, and then a bit of a channeling, and then a pocket of peace, which is a guided meditation. Okay, so let's begin. Nice to see all of you and nice to meet you again. Um, what I'd like to talk about today is, so I got a comment on one of the on the video from yesterday about this energy, the harvesting of energy, and these sorts of things. And I would recommend. I have a book called The Dragon Book, and in it, I was channeling Tiamat, and she goes into quite in depth about how that works. Yeah. So if you're interested, the links are all below. But what I wanted to talk about, though, is so speaking of this idea, it reminded me of something that happened to me when I was, well, two things. One thing is something that happened to me when I was, I think I was in high school, it's 14 or 15, and there was this shop near my house, and they sold all kinds of like crazy kind of like, you know, magical books. And it was a very kind of shady place. Not shady, but just, yeah, it seemed real. And it was strange, because it was just like a nice, quaint little town, and then there was just this shop, and so I went in one day and I bought a pack of tarot cards, and I thought, oh, and I think I've told this story before, but I bought the pack of tarot cards, and I brought them home, and it said that in order to personalize them, you should put them in like a silk bag and put it under your pillow when you sleep. So like, okay, fine, I'll do that. And then who should appear in the middle of the night in my room but the owner of that shop? So here I am, like sleeping, and I have sleep paralysis, right? Where your body can't move, but your eyes are open. And then there's the guy above me, like with his hands out, like this, doing some sort of, I don't know what he was trying to do. And I still remember at the time thinking, what a strange thing to do. He was probably about my age now. So I'm almost going to the Hawaii 5 age in 2 years, I think. I'm almost going to the Hawaii 5 age in 2 years, I think. So I think he was probably about the same age that I am now. And I still, sometimes question, like, you know, what was he doing? Like, and what I always think about this is like, kind of get a hobby, but anyway, but there, that was very interesting for me. And I realized I was talking with a friend, and she had done tarot cards readings and things like that. And she said, oh, you never buy an opened pack. So the pack was not in the plastic, it was opened. And he was selling a whole bunch of opened ones there just for that purpose. And so, like, what's going on with this guy, right? And it takes all kinds of people to make the world go round, and whatever floats your boat, I guess, right? And it reminded me of this. There's the TV or cartoon, which is, I'm not like a huge fan of it, but at times I've just checked it out a few times because there's some interesting things in it. But I think it's very grotesque, though. It's too much of that. But it's a show called Rick and Morty, and there was an episode where the devil came to Earth and he opened up a shop and he was just selling things, but they were all cursed. And somehow the main character, one of the main characters, Rick, yeah, he's a scientist, and he realized that they were all cursed, and so he opened up a business next door to take away all the curses from the things. And I was thinking about that because that reminded me, oh, that's the same story. And so I imagine that this is a thing. Um, so it's yeah, yeah, talking about this CURSE thing again. I wonder, but YouTube hasn't stopped me, so or maybe it has already. We'll see. Um, but so this is a thing, it's just a thing out there in our planet, our world. There are people that do this. We are living in a yin yang universe, and there's both sides working. And sometimes the side that's not in the light has to work extra hard because they're going against their nature. That is not their true nature, so they have to try extra hard, yeah, to basically go against human nature, those of them that are human. uh, but so what was I going to say? So, but another thing about all of this is I was talking with my guides again about this sort of thing, because I've been like, it's been like a, it's like a war, it's like a battleground over here with all the attacks I'm getting. um, but what I when I was talking to my guides about that, I thought was really interesting is that always those who are in the dark, they're not in the light. And so even though just like a 007 uh, character, like Dr. No or something, I just saw a little clip of Dr. No, and he was the typical like bad guy, and he was living on an island, and he had this um, aquarium full of sharks, and he was planning on taking over the world. But somehow, James Bond, this debonair James Bond, can always escape somehow because the traps that are let for him are so complicated and so silly, and they don't really make any sense. And that's the parable that I would use for what's going on. Um, Very, very smart, very clever, able to do all of these things and always thinking about, how to manipulate everything. But the problem is that they're in the dark. You can't see if you're in the dark. And so it's bound to fail because it's not real, it's not true. And the only truth is love, the only truth is light. And if, for example, they would choose to see the light, then they would be in the light. And so that's the dilemma, right? It's kind of funny. There's a show in Japan, a cartoon, and it's called Taka no Tsume. And Taka no Tsume means like, I think it's like Taka is a eagle or hawk. I can't remember. Hawk's claws. And it's just these kind of this guy and these two other like these people are living together, and they're always planning on taking over the world, but they never have enough money, so they're all kind of working these part-time jobs, and they're and then they create this amazing thing, but then it always fails, and they're always, we're gonna take over the world. That's basically it. I mean, that's in the end, it is yeah, the dark, working in the dark, seeing things from the dark. And that to understand that all of us, we are in the light, we are love. And so that love is so much more powerful. But when we are in fear, that's when we lose our power. And so if we stay in that neutral state, we're not angry, we're not in fear, we're not sad, we're just neutral, then we can truly see everything, and then we can be in our power because we are love, and we just give love and we shine light. The more light you shine, the more the shadows have to disappear, and the more we can raise our frequency on our planet, and so that these things don't have to occur anymore. So, and or that it's the light is strong enough that we can see everything for what it is. Discernment, which is a very important thing. So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to talk about. So, per your question though about energy harvesting, there's another, just a little brief bit about this temple there's a temple that's close to my house. There are many temples and shrines here in Japan. It's the most temples and shrine per capita of anywhere in the whole world. And it's funny, like, yeah, but anyway, I won't go into that. But there is this one temple I went to, I think a few weeks ago, and it was intense, the energy there, and it always feels like you're being, bitten by a mosquito. So when I was, like, in elementary school, there were mosquitoes around, and everyone's like, "We have to kill the mosquitoes." Like, "You know what? I'm gonna see what it feels like." So if I consciously watch the mosquito, biting me, and then, what does it feel like? And I thought, um, "Oh, hey, Christina. Hey, hey. Oh, Christina. Oh, Stefan." So, but I was like, I'm going to see what it feels like. And what it felt like. So I saw the mosquito, and then it put its talon, I guess, in me, and then I felt this brief bit of euphoria. And I was just like, wow, this is interesting. It feels euphoric. And then it started drinking my blood, and then it got itchy, right? So when I go to that place, it was, yeah, you feel this kind of euphoric, like, wow, so wonderful. um so yeah, that feeling. And but yeah, but that's all I wanted to say about that. But yeah, there's a lot more in my dragon book, if you're interested. And yeah. Oh, Stefan, you're saying, can you please send me a link to the book so I can do my homework today? Sure, sure. Yep, I will. Will do. And let's see. What else did I want to say? I guess that was it. Um, yeah, just talk. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was when I was a kid, I used to have this. Um, what's the word? I used to get sleep paralysis every night, and I used to get taken out of my bed and taken places, and they would do something to my back, and they would do something. And it's interesting now that I think about it. I think it was my kidney, and so that's like this theme for me. But they would do something with my back, and they would paralyze me basically, and then I would be paralyzed, but it would feel like my whole body is really ticklish, like it's just like this, really uncomfortable ticklish feeling. And yeah, so there's that too. I think I'm rambling. You know what? I'm going to go into a channeling, and hold on one second. Let me just, Stefan, let me just, sorry. Please ignore that email, Stefan. I clicked the wrong button. All right. So I'm just gonna, Stefan, I'm just gonna email you the book really quick. Hold on a second. And here we go. Where's the book? Here's the book. Okay. All right, Stefan, I've sent you the book. All right. So, yeah. So tonight is the third session of our channeling session. We have a group channeling session, or group channeling class, I guess. And tonight is the final and third session. And yeah, should be interesting. We'll be starting up another one, if there's interest. We'll be starting up another one. We have a private session and a public session, and we also have, um, in addition, I also offer a bi-monthly. Is that correct? And that's not bi-monthly. Yeah, well, twice a month. I have a channeling live Q&A channeling session where you can join in and ask questions to your guides, and then I will channel them for you. And yes, if you're interested. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a channeling. Here we go. Just ask if they have anything to add to anything that I've been talking about today. Here we go. Hmm. Greetings. We are that one that you know of as Esmeralda, and we're here to bring a message of love and a message of peace in these heightened times. These times on your planet have been becoming more and more, you might say, heightened. They're becoming more and more difficult because you are in a transition period, a period of change from one way of being into another way of being. And it can be a bit jarring because you're not used to it. You're not used to it. And there's so much that you have to let go of in order to get to the next level, the next place, the next frequency that you're going into. There is not much that you can take with you into this new frequency. What you can take with you is your experiences and your emotions and your love. You can take these things with you, but a lot of the other things you can't take with you. And that is what is happening. You are experiencing the end of one paradigm. And in this paradigm, there are many things that you are still very much attached to and that you very much would like to continue. And Unfortunately, within the new paradigm, many of these old paradigms will have to cease to exist because many of them were not built on a higher frequency. And so all things that were built on frequency that were not built on the frequency of love will have to fall away. And this can be a bit trying on all of you, but it is what it is, and it is what is happening on your planet. And you are beautiful beings of light. And understand that by letting go of all of these things, you are welcoming all of the most beautiful things into your lives. That the things that you are holding on to, when you really look at them, they're really nothing that you would like, that you should be holding on to. When you look at them, you think, oh, this is not something that I wanted to hold on to. And that is what will happen if you truly view all of these things that you're holding on to. Do you really need that? Does it really serve you? Is it truly making you happy? If not, let it go. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. All you need to bring is your love and your humanness, your beauty, your connection with love, your connection with hope, your connection with peace, your connection with all there is, and all of your beautiful experiences that you've had. These you can take with you. So that is what we're saying. And this is not meant to say that you are leaving this plane. By no means you are leaving this plane. You are just increasing the frequency. And as the frequency increases, things will shift and change because the frequency is very different from the frequency in which you live in now. And the structures will have to change and everything will have to change. And well, we would not say everything, but most things will change. And the structure, of course, is there. The basic structure is already built, but it is for all of you to get used to this new way of living, this multidimensional way of living. And you are right in the middle of this intense change. And the intensity is starting to build again. And what we would say to all of you is just understand that this is just a process that you are all going through, and there's nothing to worry about. We are that one that you know of as Esmeralda. All right. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening in. I'll just do a quick pocket of peace. And what I'd like to do with this pocket of peace is let's just do a pocket of peace to ride the waves. Okay, so I've got my shamanic drum here, or it's actually not a shamanic drum, it's a frame drum. I've got my frame drum, and I will do a shamanic rhythm, which is just 120 beats per minute. Beats per second rhythm, this kind of rhythm, which entrains your brain. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'd like you to just kind of get comfortable. Take a few deep breaths. Good. Good. Take a few deep breaths and then just listen to the drum. And just imagine that you're surrounded by this mist. Just comes in from the windows. It's just mist, unconditional love. It just wraps you up like a blanket. And you just feel so good wrapped in this mist. And this mist just tells you that you have nothing to worry about. There's nothing to worry about. There's nowhere that you need to go. There's nothing that you need to say or do or regret. You're perfect exactly as you are right now. You're absolutely perfect and wonderful and beautiful. It's just this amazing feeling. And I'd like you to just expand that out into your room, and then into the town that you're in, into the city, into the country, into the whole world. The whole world is surrounded by this mist of unconditional love, and it just tells everyone around the world that everything's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You might look outside and see everything changing, but just look inside and feel this peace, because that's what's really happening. That's the truth, is that you are love, you are connected to love, you're made of love, for love, by love, to make love. You are in love, and that is all you really are, and that is a lot to be. What a beautiful thing to be. And so you can look outside and see all the changes, but then you look inside and you see all the love. And then I just like all of you just to imagine that you and everyone around the world is shining this love out. They see the love that's inside and they say, oh, let's make this love that I feel inside and let's bring it out to the whole world. So now just imagine the whole world is surrounded by love. People are shining their love all out into the world, all out into all these stories that are out in your media and your mass consciousness. Shine your love out into it. Shine your love into these stories. Make these stories stories of love and of hope and of peace. Ah, yes, that's beautiful. Imagine if the whole world did this right now. How beautiful this world would be. That's all it takes. That's how simple it is for all of us to change the whole world. Just look inside and feel that love and know that you're loved and you're perfect and shine it out. Shine that out. Yeah. All right. So, this pocket of peace is something that you can use. You can tap into this energy. You can draw it down. You can put it into your pocket. You can take it with you whenever you need to. This is yours. All right, guys. So, thank you very much. Pocket of Peace for June 29th, 2024 at 7:23 at night. I hope you guys are hopeful, and I know I'm feeling a lot better. So thank you so much. Thanks, Stefan. And Stefan, I'll see you very soon. Okay, guys. Ciao.